Hello students, welcome you all to a new session regarding discussion of a new subject known as applied thermodynamics. So this subject, it is a part of a VTU curriculum which is coming under fourth semester. The subject code 18ME42 which comes in the fourth semester. So in today's session, the introduction class, we will be discussing regarding the syllabus, the number of hours allotted for the completion of the syllabus of this particular subject, and some of the prerequisites required for the discussion of this subject. So on the slides, you can see my email IDs which are being displayed here. So if you have any queries, you can send me an email to this email IDs, as well as my phone number is displayed here through which you can send me a WhatsApp message also. So in today's session, we'll be discussing regarding the syllabus as well as the things required, prerequisites required for the studying of this particular subject, that is applied thermodynamics or A2D. So now we will be beginning the session. So as you can see on the screen, students, as I said, the subject code for the subject is applied thermodynamics, that is the code 18ME32. So we are having 3 lecture hours, 2 tutorial hours weekly. Then we have CI 40 marks, SW 60 marks. Then the credits earned for learning subject is 4. As I said, there are some course link objectives for this particular subject. And once the objectives are being defined clearly, such as the first objective states to understand the applications of first and second laws of thermodynamics. So already regarding the first and second law of thermodynamics, we have learned in our basic thermodynamics subject, and those applications we are going to correlate here with respect to the gas processes and the gas cycles. This is the first objective. Second objective, students, we need to understand the fundamentals of IC engines, construction working principle of an engine, and we can compare them with the actual fuel, air, and air standard cycle performance. This is our second objective. Third objective is to study the combustion behavior, how the combustion takes place, its nature, phenomena working, especially in the SI and CI engines, and how the combustion can be controlled in the environment, which is responsible for learning some of the factors such as detonation, and through which you can control them to extract maximum power in the IC engines. This is the second objective. Third objective, we need to test the IC engines, and this testing is done to check the performance, as well as you can develop some heat balance sheet where you can estimate the indicated power, breaker power, actual power, and the other efficiencies. Fourth objective, we can understand the theory and performance calculation of positive displacement compressor, or you can call it as a reciprocating compressor device. Similarly, we need to understand the concepts related to the refrigeration and air conditioning, which you have learned in the previous semesters, the working of the VCR and VAR. Here we will be learning in detail with respect to the refrigerants, types of refrigerants, types of refrigeration, types of air conditioners. Then we will be using the help of the psychometric charts, psychometric processes, such that they can be applied for the various applications. So these are the objectives of the applied thermodynamics subject. Now with respect to the syllabus, students, so for your syllabus, especially in the module number 1, we will be dealing with the air standard cycles, where air is used as a working fluid for the studying the thermal efficiency of the Carnot cycle, Otto cycle, diesel cycle, dual cycle, and Stirling cycle with their respective PV and TS diagrams. And you will be comparing them, having a comparison with the Otto, diesel, and the dual cycles. This is the module number 1, part 1. In part number 2, we'll be studying the IC engines, where we'll be studying their classification of different IC engines. Then the combustion phenomena developing in the SI engine, developing in the CI engine. We'll be discussing some detonation factors affecting the detonation, as well as the very important thing is the performance test on the carried on the IC engines to check the performance parameters. Analysis can be done, the heat balance sheet required for the IC engines, then how to conduct the most test, different kinds of IC engine fuels or the alternate fuels which can be used with their respective ratings. This is with respect to module number 1. Then when we move to module number 2, in the module number 2 we will be having the gas power cycles, that is with respect to the Breton cycle or a gas turbine we say. Here we will be studying its description, analysis to the PV and TS diagrams, and we will be applying some methods to improve the thermal efficiency of this gas turbine, that is using the regenerative method, intercooling method or reheating method, where the 3 different methods can be applied to only to improve the thermal efficiency of this gas turbine plant. Then we will be having introduction to some various types of jet propulsion cycles such as ramjet, turboprop and many others. This is with respect to the module number 2. Then we have module number 3. In the module number 3, we will be studying regarding the vapor power cycles, where the steam is used as a working fluid. So in that, the first we will be studying regarding the Carnot vapor power cycle. What are the drawbacks in this Carnot using as a vapor as a working fluid? Then we go for the simple Rankine cycle. We will be studying its description, TS diagram, PV diagram. We go for its performance, analyzing its performance, comparing the Carnot and the Rankine cycle. Then in the Rankine cycle, we will be studying regarding the effect of pressure and temperature on the Rankine cycle performance, actual vapor power cycles, ideal and practical regenerative Rankine cycle. Then we will be having the methods to improve the efficiency by using open and closed feed water heaters, then reheating the Rankine cycle and having characteristics or the properties of an ideal working fluid in the vapor power cycle. Similarly, when we move towards module number 4, in the module number 4, the first part is with respect to the refrigeration cycles. As I said, we have learned refrigeration in the previous semesters. The same thing we'll be learning, but in the detailed depth. So we are having here vapor compression refrigeration system. In this vapor compression refrigeration system, students, we will be learning its description, its analysis, refrigerating effect, capacity. Then we are having units of refrigeration, that is in terms of COP, refrigerants, different types of refrigerants, their properties, alternate refrigerants. Then we are having air cycle refrigeration. We will be going to study regarding the working of a reverse Carnot cycle, reverse Breton cycle, as well as vapor absorption refrigeration system. Another part in the module number 4 is, students, that is the psychrometrics and air conditioning systems, where we'll be studying regarding the psychrometric properties of air, psychrometric charts we'll be going to study. We'll be analyzing the air conditioning processes, heating, cooling, dehumidification, humidification processes, evaporative cooling, then the adiabatic mixing of 2 moist air streams, working of cooling towers, etc. Once we move to module number 5, students, here, as I said, we'll be studying regarding the positive displacement machines, that is the thing, but the reciprocating compressors. Already you know that compressor is a work input machine, or it is a work absorbing machine, power absorbing machine. So therefore, we will be studying here regarding the operation of a single stage compressor, how the work input has to be done through the PV diagram, through this one, steady state analysis we do for this particular compressor. Then in the compressor, we will be studying regarding the effect of clearance and volumetric efficiency. Then the various processes which are developed here, that is the adiabatic, isothermal and mechanical efficiencies. And very important is, for a compressor, we need to reduce the work input. So therefore, we will be studying regarding a multi-stage compressor. We will be studying regarding the work input, saving in the work input. Then we will be studying regarding the optimum intermediate pressure ratio, intercooling, or minimum work required for the compression. Another part in the module number 5 is regarding the steam nozzle, students. Here we will be studying regarding how does the flow occur through the nozzles, how does the flow of the steam develops through these nozzles, the shape of the nozzles, and the effect of these nozzles having on the factors such as the friction, the critical pressure ratio, as well as a type of flow known as super saturated flow. So this is the syllabus for your applied thermodynamics subject. Now these are the course outcomes, students. As you can see on the screen, we are having around 6 outcomes. The first outcome is once you complete the learning of these 5 modules, you will be able to apply the thermodynamic concepts for the gas power cycles for analyzing their performance. Similarly, you can analyze the performance of vapor power cycles. Then you can understand the combustion of fuels and performance of IC engines. You can understand the principle and application of refrigerant system. Then you can apply the thermodynamic concepts to determine the performance parameters of refrigeration as well as air conditioning systems. Then you can understand the working principle of air compressors and steam nozzles along with the applications and relevance. You can relevant for the air and identify the methods for performance improvement of this air compressors. These are some of the course outcomes. Then these are some of the textbooks prescribed by the university. The good textbooks are, you can see on the screen, Engineering Thermodynamics by P.K. Nag, Application of Thermodynamics by V. Kadambi, then Thermodynamics by Eunice Angel, Thermodynamics for Engineers reference books by Kenneth, Principle of Engineering Thermodynamics by Michael J, and Introduction to Thermodynamics by Y.V.C. Rao, Thermodynamics by Radhakrishnan, IC Engines by V. Ganeshan. These are some of the textbooks and reference books prescribed by the university. Then, prerequisites, students. Before we go to the learning of the 5 modules of our applied thermodynamics subjects, we need to refresh some of the things which you have learned in our basic thermodynamics and some of the prerequisites. And in that, the very important thing is, students, regarding the PVT relations, heat transfer and work transfer for the various processes. Now, first of all, the first process is n is equal to infinity. Students, always remember, whenever there is a term n is equal to infinity, which is nothing but generally applied to your PV relation. So you know your PV relation, P V to the power of n is equal to C. So when you put the value of n is equal to infinity in this particular expression, then it gets reduced to this form, that is V is equal to C, which means it is a constant volume process, or it's also termed as isochoric process. So therefore n is equal to infinity or V is equal to C, and it is known as constant volume or isochoric process. For a constant volume or an isochoric process, our PVT relation, so generally our PVT relation, how we are writing here, we are writing in this fashion, students, that is P1 V1 is equal to MRT1. This is the generally gas equation, and if I write it with respect to 2 state points, I write it in this fashion, students, that is P1 V1 by T1 is equal to P2 V2 by T2. Now, according to this constant volume or isochoric process, the volume remains constant. If V1 is equal to V2, then what is your equation? You are getting P1 by T1 is equal to P2 by T2. This is our PVT relation when volume is constant. That is P1 by T1 is equal to P2 by T2. Heat transfer equation, students. Just if you make a glance, it is a thing but Q is equal to MCV T2 minus T1 for the heat transfer process, for a constant volume process, heat transfer for a constant volume process. Work transfer, already you know, for a constant volume process, W value is 0. So this is for constant volume process. Next, n is equal to 0, students. So if for the equation PV to the power of n is equal to C. If I substitute the value of n is equal to 0, if I substitute n is equal to 0 in the above equation, the corresponding equation which I am going to get is P is equal to C, which means it is a constant pressure process, or it is also known as isobaric process. So therefore, this can be written in this form now, or P is equal to C, constant pressure or isobaric process. So now the PV relation here. So as I said previously, how was our PV relation, general PV relation? P1 V1 by T1 is equal to, it was P2 V2 by T2. As now the pressure remains constant, that is P1 is equal to P2, it gets cancelled. So your PV relation now it is V1 by T1 is equal to V2 by T2. Heat transfer equation, students, here it becomes Q1 to mCp T2 minus T1, and the work transfer equation is P2 V2 minus P1 V1. One small hint, students, for you. Always do remember the heat transfer equation for the constant volume process and constant pressure process. Only there is a slight change. In the constant volume process, here the term comes that is CV, specific at constant volume, whereas for a constant pressure process it is CP. Other that, the other terms that remain same, MT2 minus 1, both the sides we get the same term, only we have to write these terms in specifically. CV for constant volume, CP for constant pressure. Now moving ahead, students, n is equal to 1. So for our PV to the power of n is equal to C, if I substitute the value of n is equal to 1 in the above equation, then the corresponding equation which I am going to get is, it is PV is equal to C. So this PV is equal to C is nothing but it is the representation of a constant temperature process or isothermal process. So therefore, the PVT relation here, it becomes now generalized equation. Just now I was saying it was like this: P1 V1 by T1 is equal to P2 V2 by T2, and when T1 is equal to T2, because this is now isothermal process we are discussing here, so it gets cancelled. So the equations you will be getting as P1 V1 is equal to P2 V2. So your PVT relation here, it is P1 V1 is equal to P2 V2. Always do remember, students, take a note. Always for an isothermal process, the heat transfer Q1 to 2 is always equal to the work transfer W1 to 2, provided, as I said, the temperature remains constant or it is an isothermal process. So please do keep in mind. So if you calculate the heat transfer equation for an isothermal process, the value is equal to the work transfer itself. So now here the equation, how I can write here, heat transfer equation, I can write it as Q12 into is equal to P1 V1 ln of V2 by V1. So as you can see here, the expression I am writing is V1 V1 is equal to V2 by V1. This is the same expression. How can I write? I can write in this form also, students, that is V2 by V1 is equal to what? According to this expression, it is a thing, but it is P1 by P2. It is P1 by P2. So this volume ratios, what I can do, students, I can replace it in the form of pressure ratios also. So how I can write? Let us see here. Or P1 V1 ln of P1 by P2. Or the same thing, how I can write here? Yes, why I have written this P2 V2 here, students? I have quoted here P1 V1 is equal to P2 V2. So I can write this in the form of as P2 V2 also, or this one P2 V2 in the form of pressure ratio, I can write it as ln of P1 by P2. So there are 4 forms of the heat transfer equation. Only just remember this one. Directly you can know this one. The same entirely we repeat for the work transfer, students. That is, you can see here the same I have equation, the same forms for all the kinds. Similarly, the third form you can see here as well as here. So I told you, always keep in mind, for an isothermal process, the heat transfer Q122 is equal to W122. These are the things you need to remember. I hope these things are clear to you. Then the fourth process, N is equal to gamma. N is equal to gamma in the sense it is an adiabatic process. For adiabatic process, the PV relation is P into the power of gamma is equal to C. And the PVT relation, we are now here, we will be getting 3 types of PVT relations, students. With respect to pressure and volume, initially with respect to pressure and volume, I write it as P1 V1 raised to gamma is equal to P2 V2 raised to gamma. Only with respect to temperature and volume, only with respect to temperature volume, I can write as T2 by T1 is equal to V1 by V2 raised to the power of gamma minus 1. Or with respect to only temperature and pressure also, I can write it as T2 by T1 is equal to P2 by P1 raised to the power of gamma minus 1 by gamma. So keep in mind, whenever you are having a adiabatic process, you can have having 3 types of possibilities of pressure, volume, temperature relations. Number one, this is number 1 with respect to the pressure and volume. Number 2 with respect to temperature and volume, and number 3 with respect to temperature and pressure. So depending upon the conditions given in a problem, you can choose any of these relations and do the simplifications. Now the next important term is regarding the heat transfer. So as it is an adiabatic process, purely insulated, there is no heat interaction from the inside to the outside environment, or there is no heat interaction taking place itself, which means the heat transfer value Q here is 0. Now work transfer equation, I can write it as P1 V1 minus P2 V2 by gamma minus 1, or in the form of gas equation it is, that is P1 V1 is equal to MR T1. I can write it as MR T1 minus T2 by gamma minus 1. This is for the adiabatic process. Similarly, for the polytropic process, replace gamma by N everywhere. So it is P into V to the power of N is equal to C for a polytropic process. PV relation here also for pressure volume, it is P1 V1 raised to N is equal to P2 V2 raised to N, which you can see here. Or in the form of temperature and volume, it is T2 by T1 is equal to V1 by V2 raised to the power of N minus 1. Or temperature and pressure ratios, T2 by T1 is equal to P2 by P1 raised to the power of N minus 1 by N. Here, the heat transfer, you cannot say it as 0, students. So please keep in mind here, it is a polytropic process. So therefore, for the polytropic process, it is Q12, that is gamma minus N by gamma minus 1 into MR T1 minus T2 by N minus 1. Or the work transfer equation, I can write it as P1 V1 minus P2 V2 by N minus 1, or I can write it as MR T1 minus T2 by N minus 1. So very easy method to remember the heat transfer equation, students. If you observe very carefully, what is this MR T1 minus T2 by N minus 1? It is this particular form. So can I write this heat transfer equation as Q12 is equal to gamma minus N by gamma minus 1 of the work transfer for a polytropic process. Simple method. So before we discuss all the 5 modules, you need to remember these expressions: PVT relations for the different processes, heat transfer for the different processes, as well as work transfer for the different processes. Hope these things will help you in the future also. So these are things which I wanted to tell you, students. So if you have any doubts, you can send me an email to the email address which you have shared on the screen. And I would like you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. In future, whenever I upload the new videos on this particular channel, you will be able to understand very easily. Thank you, students. We shall stop here.